Jeff Bezos is back with a new movie. It's tokens the $75 million bribe by some. That's right, we watched The Wrecking Crew. You've already seen the title of the video. So Aiden, what's the plot of The Wrecking Crew?
The Wrecking Crew, there's a Fast and the Furious ripoff. Dave Bautista is a Hawaiian detective whose father passes away under mysterious circumstances, and his, kind of estranged brother, Jason Momoa, comes to Hawaii. And at first they fight, and then they realize there's a larger conspiracy going on based around Jango Fett's political ambitions, and they get in Fast and the Furious light on an Amazon budget action scenes.
Yeah.
And then they become friends again. Connor, what'd you think of The Wrecking Crew?
I thought The Wrecking Crew was the definition of a 3 out of 5. This was by the guy who directed Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle was a movie that was like, what if we combine Iron Man and Spider-Man into one movie? And this movie, again, he wears his influences on his sleeve because he says, what if Fast and Furious only starred 2 guys for budgetary reasons? So you have Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa, Deadpool's girlfriend, and Ned from Spider-Man.
Yep.
They pretty much did the classic streaming movie, cheap action movie thing, which is find a handful of Marvel actors in the off season that they can work around putting together for a movie of some assortment.
Yeah, and one Star Wars actor.
Who they have in Star Wars?
Dude, the main villain is literally
Oh,
Jango Fett.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Boba Fett. Boba Fett now. He's Boba Fett these days.
He plays both, yeah.
He's Boba Fett. Anyways. I mean, the movie is largely pretty boring. It sort of just hits the plot points you'd kind of imagine. I don't know if I'd call it boring, actually. There's a decent sprucing of action, which is vaguely okay. And I think by and large, the acting and general vibe is a little slightly less hokey than Fast and the Furious, which is kind of what keeps it above some of the shittier entries. It never goes like Furious X stupid. It's mostly just like these 2 guys are getting in a giant exploding car chase down the highway, and for some reason there's never any like legal consequence.
It's like a budget version of Fast 5.
Yeah, more or less. Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista have pretty solid chemistry. I've started to really like Dave Bautista as an actor.
Yep.
Him and John Cena and The Rock can be okay in certain roles, but by and large they kind of have a shtick they follow. But Dave Bautista's really trying to prove his range. By and large, I mean, sometimes he just does a weird action movie, but I still find him to be actually pretty good. And the other nice thing about the Drax the Destroyer makeup, it helps me not feel like I'm looking at him. Like Jason Momoa, I see him, I'm like, okay, I'm looking at fucking Aquaman here. But Dave Bautista, just probably based on his, like, I don't know, the makeup, he doesn't you recognize him, but he's not as much of like an actor where you see their face and you're like, oh, that's blah blah blah. I see The Rock or John Cena. It's pretty hard for them to sink into the roles. But Dave Bautista does a pretty good job, and Jason Momoa is fun. He's one of those actors, like, I guess kind of like John Cena or The Rock when he wants to be good, and not like a pretentious weirdo. Where it's just fun to hang out with weird muscle man who runs around screaming and cackling and killing people or whatever. There's something fun about that. I also think there's something kind of nice about the stripped back nature of the relatively small cast. I mean, there's other characters that have stuff going on, but the main focus is on the brothers. There's kind of the predictable, we're bickering, you're not my real brother, you're not my real brother, and then like and then at the end they hug, type shit.
Yep. They share a Corona by the fire and say we're family.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, it was cool. It was their Hawaiian vacation. It kind of felt like one of those Adam Sandler movies where they're like, we have to fly out to Hawaii right now and hang out, and then run around on CGI sets and drive around clearly closed highways with like 3 stunt cars on them that were gonna like have the explosions under, so they do the fucking flip thing. And at least like some of the action felt fairly genuine for a movie that was. You would think the budget would have entirely went into Peg and some Marvel stars, leaving very little on the budget, which is sometimes the case with these movies. It occasionally felt like they wanted to put in some like pretty solid action scenes and chases and stuff, and I think his name's Angel Manuel Soto. He's the guy who directed Blue Beetle. And even though I think both of his movies of his that I've seen, this and Blue Beetle, are derivative, they both have their fun moments, and he does a pretty good job directing action scenes and stuff. So I think he was at least pretty adequate within the movie. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun action movie. It's adequate. I like Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. Will I call it high art? No. It's pretty much a perfectly middle-of-the-line movie. Nothing's elevated about the movie, but also it's not an entirely cringe-inducing movie. It follows kind of the tropes of the genre, and just tropes of movies in general. The estranged brothers plot line of we're bickering at first, and then we have we start to like each other, then we have a falling out, and then all of a sudden they realize they're family.
Also happens to be the plot of every buddy cop movie, which is also kind of is.
Yeah, this kind of does give like a modern like Lethal Weapon vibe, or even like a Rush Hour vibe. That's a good point. I was kind of thinking that while I was watching it, where it's sort of just like a goofy, like in real life, the stakes would be pretty high, but it's goofy action movie, so you don't really take seriously that you don't really take it seriously that Jason Momoa is like massacring hundreds of people, and they're like their families are getting kidnapped, and people are getting,
Yeah.
There's
Jango Fett's gonna like blow up the community center to build a pizza shop or a casino or some shit.
Yeah, the casino plotline. I mean, it's very like there's technically stakes, but there isn't. We also know at the end of the movie it's not gonna surprise us.
No.
Jason Momoa's wife isn't gonna get shot in the head and immediately blank out, and just fall on the ground, and a pool of blood expands around her as Jason Momoa has to run through her brain fragments to attack Jango Fett. It's just it's your average little action romp with 2 likable leads.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, for what it is pretty much the best case scenario for a movie like this. And you pretty much know, even if you don't think about it, you probably subconsciously know what you're getting when you're clicking on it on Amazon Prime. So,
yep,
it's fine. Aiden, what did you think of Two Brothers, or whatever the fuck this is called, the brothers duo?
The Wrecking Crew
there you go.
Perfectly serviceable, which for streaming is pretty good. It's a decently fun action movie that's vaguely reminiscent of Fast and the Furious, where it's a lot of car and vehicular based action with some scenes of big muscle men punching each other. I think, maybe you could have cut out Ned and just had the girlfriend come into the picture earlier because she has a much better dynamic than Ned just being Ned again. He's even the hacker. He's the man in the chair. But Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista don't really need that character. But they're both, Jason Momoa is definitely a less versatile actor than Dave Bautista has proven himself to be, but he is charming in the way that wrestlers are typically very good at being. And
I don't think Jason Momoa was ever a wrestler, but he is a big muscle man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. He does kind of have that wrestler vibe, though.
He does. He's
he
filling the exact same niche.
If he didn't make it in Hollywood, he definitely would have been in the WWE somewhere.
No doubt.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's exactly what you expect it to be. It's a movie that is on the front page of Amazon, so you go into it knowing exactly what to expect, and it's a movie you can half watch while scrolling TikTok or folding laundry and look up when you start hearing explosions, and
that's pretty much what I was doing.
It fills the role that it was meant to fill perfectly. It's above average for streaming movies. It is a nice and easy watch. The leads are charming. Not a lot to actually say about it beyond that. I mean, you can look at the cover, you can look at the thumbnail of this video, and you can instantly download the entire movie in your head. And if that seems appealing to you, then it probably is, because it is exactly what you think it's going to be. So, Connor, would you recommend The Wrecking Crew?
The Wrecking Crew delivered on its inevitable premise. And as a movie to watch for 90 minutes while you sit there doing other things, or I'm sure you could probably even just drone off and watch the movie. It's fine. I think there's some charm to the leads, and honestly, sometimes it is refreshing to get movies like this. They're common on streaming, but oftentimes it's like Ryan Reynolds and The Rock combo. I don't even want to imagine what the fuck that looks like. Oh, they also had Gal Gadot. They also had Gal Gadot in that one. Imagine that trio.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
I mean, they made a Ryan Reynolds.
I don't even have to imagine. I could watch.
Red Notice is not a Ryan Reynolds and The Rock movie. Red Notice is Chris Evans.
There's one with Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and The Rock.
That's the Gray Man or something?
No, the Gray Man is also Chris Evans.
Every time I think of Red Notice, my brain fills in the Chris Evans gap and imagines it as Ryan Reynolds because it's the perfect Ryan Reynolds shit vehicle.
Let me see this shit, wait.
The Red Man?
Chris Evans, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot.
Red Man? Red Notice?
No, not Chris Evans, okay. Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, The Rock. Red Notice. Red Notice is that.
Yeah, very different from Red One.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Look at that. That fucking trio.
Yeah.
Wow. It's kind of fucking bold on us.
Yeah.
That is a bold fucking trio of, like, fucking 3 giant egos, 0 good actors in that one.
Yeah. Hey, The Rock was good in The Smashing Machine. It just took a total ego death to get there.
It took total ego death and, like, destruction of all career prospects after the Black Adam fiasco.
And one of the best directors in Hollywood.
That's
him.
He got rid of his I can't be punched clause for that movie.
Yeah. So is that a yes to the recommending?
Yeah, I recommend this movie. And would you recommend fucking Wrecking Crew?
Yep. It's perfectly serviceable. And it's on Amazon, so you probably already have Amazon. I think pretty much everyone does, so if you need something to watch on Amazon, it is a perfectly good pick.
The Wrecking Crew is a terrible title for this movie. It doesn't describe the movie at all. Why didn't they just call it, like, Hawaii shootout or some shit.
That's even worse. I would.
That's what John's fucking Andy Sedaris would call all of his movies. Shit like that.
That's true.
I guess you'd probably have to have more kitties if you called it Hawaiian shootout, because then there's some expectation there.
Maybe something like, let's see.
Brothers in Arms. Band of Brothers.
The Thin Red Line.
Pearl Harbor. That took place in Hawaii, dude.